This was actually a pretty simple chapter, all things considered, which might be surprising to some people since this is chapter 100, and a lot of times when manga creators get to a big staple number chapter like that, 100, 200, they tend to do something a little bit more extravagant to kind of commemorate it, but this chapter, on the other hand, is a little bit more reserved and held back, a little bit more slice of life, character development sort of thing, and I do appreciate it for being that, and it honestly took me by surprise a little bit. I was thinking that it would be a little bit more sort of in our face for being chapter 100, but it really didn't let the number of the chapter infer at all on what it wanted to do with the storytelling. So in this chapter, it's very short, very sweet. We basically kind of get to know the devil hunting team that Mitaka is now a part of a little bit. The one guy, he is Yoshida from the original run of Chainsaw Man, who I honestly barely remember. I have to go back and reread Chainsaw Man. It's been a while since I've read it. I think I'm just going to start collecting the physical volumes pretty soon because I originally read it online, and the volumes tend to be pretty cheap. They're pretty much, you can find them everywhere because it's so popular. Like, you can buy fucking Chainsaw Man volumes at Walmart. You know, like, that's the world we live in now. So I may as well just start collecting the physical volumes and reread part 1. But that's confirmed to be him. She feels very awkward and shy around him because of the War Devil sort of taking over and asking him how, which created a very awkward moment for him. And there's also Yuko. And I've thought this, and I think some other people are thinking this too, that this might be Denji in in disguise, in dress, being a transvestite momentarily to infiltrate this school. And there's a couple of reasons to think that in this chapter, not just because the characters look similar, because let's be honest, a lot of the characters in Chainsaw Man tend to have a lot of similarities to them in their designs. So you could say that the way the face looks, the way the hair is, that it's kind of similar to Denji just in design. But also, I think it's important to note that while Yuko and Yoshida are hanging out with Mitaka, they're constantly talking about Chainsaw Man, right? They're bringing up Chainsaw Man over and over, talking about how much they like him, how they revere him, how they sort of have this legend of Chainsaw Man that has been created, and it's almost as if they're prompting Mitaka to say something about it, almost if they are infiltrating to find the War Devil, who would be the most interested in Chainsaw Man at this moment, and to try to get a rise out of the person that might be connected to the War Devil. So it would make sense from like a narrative point of view for Yuko to be Denji in disguise. I'm not saying that like I'm 100% on board with that theory. I also think that it's a little bit too obvious. Like, I feel like it wouldn't be so thrown in our face that just like there he is, you know? But on the other hand, it makes a lot of sense just logically. So this could very well be the case, and they could be trying to figure out who the War Devil has taken over, and there could be a very high likelihood that it could be Mitaka, even if they don't know this already. And I think that there's a lot of things in this chapter that point to that, mainly when it comes to the topic of bullying. So again, R.I.P. the best Chainsaw Man character of all time, Bucky. We love you. We miss you. I think about you every day. You keep me up at night. I miss him so much. I wish Bucky was here. But let's not forget, Mitaka is responsible for the death of Bucky, whether or not it was on purpose, which it wasn't. But this is how she was viewed, and she is also somebody that has already been a bit of an outcast, that has already been someone that her peers sort of look down on or ridicule or pick on. And so when you have, and I don't know if I'm reading like too into this, I don't want to get like too serious or too real here, but when you think about people that are outcast, especially within a school setting or a high school setting, or people that feel weak or inferior or out of place, or somebody that just constantly is taking abuse mentally, physically, verbally over and over again. I don't think Mitaka is like physically getting abused at all by anybody, but at least the bullying is there as the part that they're, throwing raw meat on her shoes so she can't use them. They're talking about her. They're, segregating themselves from her. These are the things that drive people down into really low negative energy, where they feel really horrible about themselves, which could be the type of person that something like a War Devil would gravitate to and choose as its target to take over. You're not going to choose like the preppy popular kid that's having a good time, that's, doing fine. You would probably be more likely to naturally gravitate somebody who is being bullied and is having this rise of negative emotions and would have perhaps resentment against other people, starting this sort of notion of war, of conflict, continuing this conflict that's going. You wouldn't necessarily choose a target that is kind of cool with everybody and has an okay established relationship with everybody, because then it'll be harder to start that conflict. But if you choose somebody that's already sort of an outcast, then it's a lot easier to do so. So it could be that they already suspect her of being the war devil, and that is the reason why they're infiltrating the way that they are and asking the questions and bringing things up about Chainsaw Man and trying to get a rise out of her. So I'm just saying that I think it would make sense narratively. Also, Yuko in this chapter comes out to be a very friendly, kind, considerate person, which is the opposite of what Mitaka is used to experiencing, where she doesn't have her shoes. Yuko offers one of them to her, or both of them. They both wind up wearing one shoe. She wants to give the shoe back, and Yuko essentially leads Mitaka to her house. Now, in the world of Chainsaw Man, I find that a little bit suspicious. Just because, maybe I just am thinking too much into things. Maybe I got my guard up too much. I don't know what it is. But I just think it might be a little bit suspicious to just lead somebody to your house that you don't really know yet. Maybe she's just being kind. Maybe she's just being friendly. Maybe really kind, passionate, friendly people do exist out there, and I'm just being too negative. But I think that it also might lead into the fact that they're trying to figure out who the war devil is and isolate them. And maybe inside of Yuko's house, maybe there's even more characters that we have seen before, or more of a organization sort of thing that's happening here in order to help identify this person. Or maybe it's just a whole bait and switch, and maybe Yuko is a different type of devil that is just trying to do another horrendous thing here. And that's another thing that's very difficult to tell, is because we are in this world where anybody could be playing a part as somebody else. It doesn't even necessarily have to be Denji. It could just be another devil connected to somebody who's playing another part, and it's this sort of like never-ending cycle that we're within. And I also wonder what that's going to do to Mitaka, because it's almost as if everybody that's ever shown her kindness or ever even attempted to be her friend might turn out to betray her. I mean, there was Bucky who didn't necessarily betray her, but she might have inadvertently destroyed. And what if even her friendship with Yuko ends up leading to Yuko's death? Assuming Yuko is not Denji in disguise in any way, and it's just a very nice, sweet, caring girl. What if even being in Mitaka's presence causes something horrible to happen to her? And then it's just this never-ending thing where she can't find any connection with anybody because horrible things continuously happen, which causes her to isolate herself even more, which causes the war devil to thrive and become even more powerful, creating constant, never-ending conflict. And that's just the direction that I see things going. Is that a bit depressing? Yeah, I suppose. Is it also a bit realistic? Yeah, I think so. So I don't know, man. I'm conflicted. I'm torn. I'm torn between two things. I'm torn between thinking this might be an undercover thing with Denji, or she might just be a genuinely good person that's going to pay the price for that, or she might be another devil in disguise as well. I'm not really sure which direction to go with this, but I was very taken aback that this chapter was so simple and fun, and but still fun, but still having this undertone of darkness to it, with Mitaka's sort of isolation and as a result of being bullied. So there's an aspect of like whimsy that's happening here, but at the same time there's sort of this undertone of this is really kind of sad, and where does she go from here? And it seems like the only person she really has in her corner is the war devil. And that's not necessarily a good thing. But it does make you stronger, and you do look pretty badass with scars on your face, so there's always that. Anyways, guys, so if you have read Chainsaw Man Chapter 100, let me know what you think about it down below. Let me know all your thoughts, theories. Which direction do you think they're going to go with Yuko? Do you think it's the Denji option? Do you think she's just a very nice girl? Do you think she's another demon in disguise? Where do you think they're going to go with her? Very curious, because this chapter was definitely spent building up her kindness and who she is as a person, and so I can't help but think that there's a little bit of something there beneath the surface that's going to kind of explode on us at some point. But anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this chapter down below. Please put all your thoughts, theories, comments. Any interaction with the video does help it do better in the algorithm, so I would really appreciate it. Also, I am trying to reach 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you could help get me there and hit that subscribe button, I would be endlessly appreciative. And if you want to support the channel on that deeper level, I do have a Patreon merch store, links down below, as well as all the various social media links where you can follow me. Other than that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next chapter.